as usual. All right. Okay. Now, okay, let's get started. We have time frames. We both know we've started this discussion since like last week, I think. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, the ideology, the everything behind time frame blending is being able to relate different time frames together. Okay. I'm seeing my trade on 1 month. I'm seeing my trade on 1 week. Or wherever time frame, bigger time frame you're seeing your trade from. You as a trader cannot pick that trade on that bigger time frame, right? Let's assume you have a W on, you are waiting for a W on 2 hours, right? You are waiting on a W on 4 hours. You know what this means, and you are waiting for that W to form on 4 hours, and you pick your trade here on 4 hours, right? On a W on 4 hours. You actually understand what this means. This means that what these numbers of pips, if the market move back this number of pips, your account is blown, right? Because this is accumulation of a whole lot of pips, and that's where a lot of people get it wrong. They draw their support zone and their whatever on a time frame. When the market enters it and shows just one rejection candle, they say the market is ready to move. No, that's not how we look at things in BTN. We look at things differently in BTN. We look at things in with a better perspective of doing things.
Look at that Michael slap.
Don't slap him off. Are we together? So today, we'll be talking majorly about time frame blending. So I want us to be able to relate things together. So today, I actually want us to relate so much together. So it is actually very important that if you have noises from your end, do not unmute your mic. But if you know you are in the surrounding environment, you can actually unmute yourself and let's communicate well, right? So now let's start with 2 time frames. Then we had one bigger one, then we had another bigger one. Let's look at what these 2 time frames are saying. Now, let me say something clearly here. It is the same thing 2 time frames are saying that another, how will I put it? I'm coming. Okay, let me say M15, right? And H1, H1 and H4, or H4 and D1. Now, these markets, these 3 markets have the same structure. If you are considering it like this, the structure H1, interpretation of H1 on M15 is the same structure of interpretation of H4 on H1, is the same structure of interpretation of D1 on H4. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
thing
Yes.
is actually not difficult. It's just for you to get one perspective and relate it to other perspective. Are you with me? So the moment I can see what H1 is doing, if H1 is doing something like this, I know this perspective on H1 is H4 trade. If I see this structure on M15, I know this structure on F15 is what? H1 trade. I don't know if you are getting what I'm trying to say.
I'm lost here.
No, don't be lost. Don't worry. You'll
No,
find
sir.
yourself
No,
soon.
sir. No, sir. Don't get.
What I'm trying to say is the interpretations. Okay. Let me look at. Okay. Sorry. We have some Muslims here. and we have some Christians there. So I will try as not to be okay. I'm not a religious person, so I will try as much as possible not to be one. Yeah, but I want to use Bible references also. Do you know that Mark, Luke, what are those first four?
John, Mark,
John and
Luke,
what?
John,
Matthew, John,
Matthew.
Mark, Luke. I don't understand.
Matthew, yeah, thank
Matthew.
you. Matthew,
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and
Mark,
John.
Luke,
Luke
and
and
John.
John.
Abi, these four, right? Do you know that in
Yes.
these four verses, chapters of the Bible, or four books of the Bible, whatever you can call it, do you know that they are related in one way or the other? It's just like writing the same thing or giving it different
Yes.
narration,
And
Yes, sir.
narration.
right?
Different
Yes.
angles.
Thank you. Different angles, but it's the same stuff they were writing all about.
Just
Right.
different English.
Voila.
No,
All right.
I think it's angles because everyone saw Jesus in their own way.
Exactly. Now, this is exactly how you are going to see it too. You have to see the market according to the time frame you are looking at. Now, one thing about them is they have similar patterns, regardless of whatever time frame you are looking at it from. Similar patterns, similar methods, similar angles, regardless of which particular time frame I'm looking at it from. Now, let me now explain what I mean by this. Now, if I'm looking at M15 and I'm trying to relate it with H1, right? The structural representation of this is the same thing on H1 relating to H4.
H4.
Note what I said. I said the structural representation is almost the same thing or the same thing, depending on what the market is giving, to H1 and H4. So as H4 and what? And D1, it is all the same perspective. Now, let me tell you something. People that are trading on intraday, right? Or are looking at pullback to the 50 or trading at the 50 for intraday trading. They now compare this and this together. People that are looking at swing perspective, they now compare the four of them together. They pick everything together. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now let us now look at let's start breaking it down and start looking at let's look at M15 to H1.
Okay.
These people that are just
Some
entering
people
class.
Mute yourself now. Mute yourself.
I don't know. I believe it's those people that just entered class. Okay. Now we now look at this perspective.
Let our co-host help us. Let our
M15
co-host help us.
M15 to H1. And then we will now use that M15 to H1 to relate to all other time frames. Are we together? But again, I will say
Yes, sir.
it is the picture you are looking at on H1 to M15. That same picture is the representation of H1 to H4. It won't change. It does not change. So now let's start breaking what I said down. Now, you will agree with me that okay, let me call somebody so that it will be more interactive. Let me call somebody. Okay. Trying to look for someone to call. Okay, Marcel, you've been on the group also for a while now, right? For more than 2 weeks already. So you should understand one or two things. Marcel, are you there?
Yes, boss.
Okay, good morning. Now, give me some how will I put it? In our cycle, right? from our last discussion, so come on, what am I doing? From our last discussion on time frame blending, this is our cycle here, right? From our last discussion on time frame blending, right? Are you with me, Marcel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. From our last discussion from time frame blending, right? We said something when we were relating a lower time frame to another time frame. Like how many levels a lower time frame we do to make a level on another time frame. Can you remind me those stuffs?
Okay. A cycle
One cycle,
in a lower time frame
okay,
is a level
No.
on a corresponding higher time frame.
No.
someone is saying no. Okay, let's hear your perspective.
True now.
Three levels on lower time frame is just a level.
Yes, it's the same.
It's the same thing now. It's the same
It's the
thing.
same thing now. He's saying.
Every
that means
level
a
on a
cycle.
higher time frame
Okay.
will
So
have
three
a complete
levels is a
level in a
cycle.
lower time frame.
Okay, so three levels on a lower time frame is a cycle. So
Yes,
a cycle
it's the same
It's a
English.
cycle.
just a one level. Okay,
Yes,
Don't
every
confuse
level on a
yourself.
higher time.
I understand now.
It's the same thing. Both of you are right, actually. It's the same thing. So don't confuse yourself, please. It's very important you don't. All right. Now, this, remember I said that this is unanimous to what all time frames, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now let us look at, let's actually assume that this is our H1. Now I want us to start looking at it from that perspective. Now, this is our H1. At this particular point, what do I have in the market on M15? This particular, I'm coming. Just hold on.
A peak reset.
A reset.
You have a peak reset.
That's a reset.
A pullback.
No, it's a pullback
No,
on a higher
on
time frame.
M15 it's a reset.
What
On
is
a lower
happening on M15? A reset, right?
It's a reset, yes.
Okay, now the market will do what? Drop again. Here also, okay?
reset.
Another reset.
Another reset.
Low formation.
It's a peak low.
On M15,
No, okay.
It's a pullback.
No, a
No.
long consolidation. Very long
It's
consolidation.
a
It will
multiple.
give us a double peak on M15.
all right. Okay. Now let us pick it one after the other. You guys are doing well. Now let us look at it from.
Please, I'm actually confused.
Don't be confused. All right. Let us look at it from this perspective. On M15, this is on H1. We have a level here, right? And the level on F15 will be what? Theory complete what?
Cycle.
Levels.
On M15.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm trying to look for a better way of explaining. Sorry, you guys won't be confused. Okay, now I want to
This one was better now. This one was better. I was getting it.
What's wrong with my hand today? This one I can't draw well. Now look at this, right? Now I will be using black to represent M15. Are we together?
Yes, boss.
Now look at this.
Yes, sir.
This is a peak. We are considering from this level to this level. Now remember we said one level on an higher time frame is what on a lower time frame? A complete cycle.
A complete cycle on a higher time frame.
On a lower time frame.
A complete cycle on a lower time frame. Now look at what we have on M15. Now, this point on M15 is which point on H1?
Pullback.
Level one
Pullback.
Level one consolidation.
one level.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yes.
W
Yes.
on M15 is here on H1,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That means
Yes.
that at this particular point, H1 has done its level 1 drop. Now, this particular point that H1 is about to reverse, you will come and check it on M15, you will see something like this. When H1 is about to reverse, okay, now H1 is starting, it started its movement from a peak, it started dropping. At a particular point in time, it will start showing you some rejection candles that, okay, I can't drop again. I want to take a rest, right? At this particular point that is showing you some rejection candles that I want to take a rest, go and check your M15. You are having a V bottom or you are having a W.
W.
Then what will now happen? Now, this process of taking rest, of moving up, let me change my marker to red again. This process of moving up from here to this particular pullback region, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
To this particular pullback region is what we call what? A peak reset on a lower time frame. So now this period of it moving, rejecting here to what? To this period of also rejecting here is what we call a peak reset on a lower time frame. What does peak reset mean? Peak reset means that a lower time frame has completed its level, while an higher time frame is yet to complete its level. So the interchange between that lower time frame complete level to a continuous movement on higher time frame is what we call a peak reset. Now, on lower time frame, it has completed its level on lower time frame. It has done 1, 2, 3. We are all expecting it to start buying again. 1, 2, 3, right? No.
Yeah.
Why didn't it buy? Because on higher time frame, it is saying I am just
Level
on
is not
level
complete.
1. I need to do my own 2 complete level. I don't know if you are I need to do my own complete cycle. I don't know if you are getting it. So if
Yes, sir. Yes.
has done its own complete cycle, that does not mean the market will have to change trend because of that. The market will only change trend when almost all time frame are unanimous in this particular region, like they are on peak low. For all time frames now will start to change levels. Now look at the perspective of which one did we talk about yesterday? One was on 1 hour low and 1 hour peak formation. Okay, I think it's NZD-USD. NZD-USD, yeah, it's still dropping, yeah, but at a particular point in time, it will reject. Yes. Now, when it gives us a peak formation low on D1 on H4,
H1.
it will also give us a peak formation low on H1. Now, at this particular point in time, you will know that H1 will do a complete cycle, which is a reset on what? On H4.
Please come back again, sir.
Don't worry. I'm not coming back yet. We will get it all right. Now, let's go back here. Let's talk about this. Now, look at this. Now, again, I take it again. From this level to this level, on a lower time frame, it's a what? A complete cycle, right? On a lower time frame, it's a what? It's a complete what?
Complete cycle.
Complete cycle, yeah.
Now, if it's a complete cycle on a lower time frame, that means we're having something like this. An M on this leg, first, second, And where it is rejecting on higher time frame, we are having something like this.
Like
The peak low on a lower time frame shows a rejection on higher time frame. Are we together?
yes, sir.
So what happened next is that this market will pull up, follow what higher time frame is doing at that particular point in time, and what reject back when higher time frame is ready to start pulling down. At this particular point, this is how you know what the market is doing. This market at this particular point on a lower time frame will be on 200 EMA. What did I say?
It will be on 200 EMA.
It will be on 200 EMA. It will be playing around 200 EMA. It will be rejoicing around 200 EMA. Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, the market then continues and say, okay, I want to continue my movement. Then on lower time frame, you start having 1, 2, 3. At this particular point of level 2 or pullback, lower time frame has done a what? A complete cycle again. Then they will both what? Go up for a pullback, and that pullback on lower time frame is called a reset. Can you see the structure I'm drawing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It will now continue again. 1, 2, 3. If you don't understand, let me know. Now, 3 complete cycles. This on a lower time frame is what on an higher time frame?
One level on.
It's one level.
No, it's one cycle.
It's one cycle. So sorry. It's one cycle.
Complete
Yes.
cycle. On higher
So
time
we
frame.
have 3 complete cycles on lower time frame to give us what? 1 complete cycle on higher
One
time frame.
complete cycle.
on higher
Higher
time
time
frame.
frame.
9 levels on lower time frames equals to what?
3 levels.
One complete cycle on
One
higher
One
complete
time
complete
frame.
cycle on higher time frame or 3 levels on higher time frame.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you are getting it.
Yes,
So
sir.
how
Yes.
many resets are we going to have along this joining? In most cases, we must have 2 resets.
2 resets.
We get it. Please, if you have noises from your please mute yourself.
Good morning.
There are some things you shouldn't be told. The moment you have noises from your end, please mute yourself. Do we understand?
Yes, I do.
Do we all understand?
Yes, boss.
Yes,
I do.
I have questions.
I have a question, sir.
The pullback and reset only. I don't understand the pullback.
I also have a question.
Who said he does not understand pullback and reset?
Now, the reset is supposed to be 3, but you people are saying in most cases it's 2.
Reset is 2 now. Who is talking?
Obinna.
Karim, are you the one talking?
No, Obinna.
Not the one.
Okay,
Not the one.
Obinna. Look at this, Obinna now. Reset happens here. Reset happens here. It can be anything. At times, our cycle takes more than, in rare cases, our cycle extends more than 3 levels. So I've said that one from day one. Go watch your videos. But in most cases, 80 to 90% of the time, it occurs just like this.
Okay, understood,
Now,
sir. Understood.
reset happens here. Reset happens here. Am I making a mistake?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, sir, can I ask a question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said in most cases that we'll have more than 3 levels.
I don't say in most cases we have more than 3 levels. I said in most cases we have 3 levels. 80 to 90% of the time.
Cases.
Okay, so these levels now, will they also have like 3 resets?
Okay, when we have more than 3 levels.
Yeah, we'd also have like 3 resets too.
Yeah, we have more resets. Sorry, I'm trying
We
to
have more
do
resets
something.
when we have more levels.
Okay.
So please, after we get that more than 3 levels, like for example now, NZD USD is doing more than 3 levels on H1.
You guys should check out CAT CHF. You guys should check out CAT CHF. Let's check it out.
Most of the currency pairs are doing more than 3 levels.
No, most of what?
Most of the pairs, when I checked as at yesterday, they were doing more than 3 levels.
Which pairs?
NZD USD now is doing more than 3 on
It's not doing more than 3 levels. It's on 4 level. It's still dropping. It has not shown us any rejection pattern. I'm coming. Let me explain something to you. Just hold on, please. Let me try and explain something. I just called a peer. Someone actually notified me just now, so you guys can check the peer out. Okay. Before we continue, I'm coming. Just please. All right, let's continue. Karim, what's your question, please?
The question is that is 11 same thing as a market cycle?
What do you say?
As I'm beginning to confuse between a market cycle and 11, is it the same?
See, one complete cycle means 3 levels.
Sir?
One complete cycle means 3 levels, right?
Okay, sir.
So if I'm saying, look at this, on a lower time frame, those black lines, it means what? One complete cycle, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Now, if a lower time frame has done a complete cycle, that means it is a level. That red line, it's just one level on an higher time frame. I don't know if you are getting what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I'm getting it, sir.
All right. Now let's look at something else. I'm coming. Just hold on, please. Now, someone said, what was it called? NZD USD has done more than 6 levels. Now, if you could remember yesterday, I asked the person that did the analysis, how many days has this cycle used, right? Hello? Are we still in this class?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
We're hearing you, sir.
Yesterday, I asked how many days are this cycle used. The person said 2 days. Now, there's something, if you could remember numbers of days, a cycle on H1 will not use 2 days to happen. It is showing us that, okay, we are in our level 3 already. We are inside level 3 already. A lot of us were expecting rejection this morning. The rejection might still happen today. But a complete cycle will take minimum of 3 days to happen. Go and check your chart on 1 hour. Minimum, it must not be lesser than 3 days. Right? Now, if it has done 1, 2 on the third, on 1, 2, 2 days, and it has done, it's showing that it is doing the third level on day 2. Be careful on day 3. They may still drop the market. And that's exactly what happened on NG. See, this thing is you confluencing everything together to understand the market. confluence it together, go and check past charts. Market don't, I don't believe market print new things. It's actually very difficult for market to print new things. They print what they've done in time past, what they've done initially in the market. It's your duty to go check past charts to understand these things. Now, don't worry, we are going to explain everything now, but let me just first conclude on this time frame blending first before we go dive into that. I hope you picked that trade of card CHF, Sha. And if you
No, I didn't enter.
it's not for everybody now. If you are new, I don't actually expect you to trade though, personally. Or if you can do your analysis well, you see that trade is a very, very good trade.
I didn't see the trade on time.
Trade has not left you.
Okay, maybe I'll check it out.
I don't know. You trade at your own risk. All right, let's continue. Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Are you enjoying the class? Or is boring? Are you enjoying the class?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now I actually want us to just let's calm down, take a deep breath, and let's take it over again. Now I will explain this way.
No.
I have a son. Are we together?
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir.
I have a son, and my son, if we are going anywhere, my son must obey what I do. Right? You can't expect me to be going out with my son. Probably we are going for night walk, all right? And then at a particular point in time, I know where exactly we are going to, right? Probably I'm going from, if you're conversant with Ibadan, I'm going from Jericho to UI. I want to take a walk from Jericho to UI. It's a long distance stop. So that is a complete cycle. I know exactly where I'm going to. I know where I'm coming from. A complete cycle, right? Now, look at what market does. Market always have children. Let's say a son. So I'm comparing two time frames together now. A son. Now, if you are age 1, right? You are the dad. And you have a son, age 4. M15.
M15.
Now, you know you are going to Jericho from Ibadan. You are going to UI, University of Ibadan from Jericho. Government area, government house, government reserve area.
Yeah,
One of the reserve areas in Ibadan. Now, you are going from Jericho to UI, and you held your son by the hand. Now, the question now is, at a particular point in time, you know where you are going to, right? And at a particular point in time, you as a person, you will take a break. What's ready? I have to rest a little. But before you take your own break, you know that your son will have taken a whole lot of breaks.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes, yes.
Now let's not break that break down. Okay, this is dad. This is this is Jericho, and this is UI, University of Ibadan. It's a very long distance journey. I doubt if you can trek it, but me I can, shall, because I like late night walks. Now, this is Jericho to UI, right? Now the question now is, how we break these things down to know when let me put the name of my son as 5 or Grace or 7. I like numbers actually. Let me say 7. 7 is perfection. So let me give my son 7, and look at what happens. Me giving my son 7, the name of my son 7, it means that I have to consider my son every time he wants to take a rest in the market, right?
The journey.
Regardless of how strong I am, my son must take rest. He's a kid. and I can't force him not to take rest, except I'm going to kill him. It's a long distance journey. So now, me, I'm only going to take 1, 2 rests, right? I will cover this distance between the rests. So we have rest 1, rest 2, right? Are we together?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, me and my son, we are starting from here. This is dad. This is me. And here, this is my son joining. My son cannot cover this long distance. It's not possible. It is me that I'm covering this long distance. My son has to take break between this distance, and that break will not affect me because the break of my son can't last long as my own break. I don't know if you are getting this perspective.
No, we are getting it.
We are, sir.
Now, this is what happens to my son. Let me show you. It can only get better. So, listen. Now, look at this. Now, this is what happens to my son. My son, in between here, I'm taking 3 breaks between Jericho to UI. My son will take 2 breaks between my own rest also. So, my son will take 1, 2. We started from here. He started from here. He took rest more. Started from here. He took rest more. Then we both took rest at this particular point. Now, the question now is, how many minutes rest will my son take? Short, right? Minute, right?
Yes, short.
It wouldn't even affect me as a person. Because, daddy, I'm tired. Oh, yeah, okay. So, all right. So, me as a person is not going to affect me until my son has done what? Has rested twice before me now rest. At that particular point, when me and my son is resting, we call that point reset. For my son, my son is not resting at that particular point. My son is taking deep rest. I don't know
Your
if you are
son is
getting it.
sleeping. Yeah.
My son is taking what?
Deep rest.
He's taking deep rest. I'm the one resting now. My son is taking deep rest because that rest is way more than what he can take. I'm the one forcing my son to take rest at a particular point in time. And you know that me resting means it will take a longer time, right? For him resting. Right? Now, after that, we continue our journey. Me, I'm not going to rest till what? My point 2. But he will take another 2 rest in between the line. Daddy, I want to buy sweet. Daddy, I want to buy. Come on. I don't know if you are not relating well because you don't have a son. People that have a son will relate well to this thing I'm talking about.
I understand what you're trying to say. I understand.
So look at this. 1, 2, 3.
Please, co-host, help us now, please. Co-host.
So, we are all resting here together, right? At point 2. Right? Now again, 1, 2.
Who is drawing on the screen?
Emeka. 3. Now at this particular point, we've gotten to where we are going to. This is exactly how the market moves for any given time frame. I'm the dad. Jericho. Rest 1. Rest 2. UI. Rest 1. Rest 2. Now look at my son. Look at my son graph. I hope you understand it now clearly.
Very well.
My son graph. 1, 2. Jericho. His own rest. Then rest 1. Now at this particular point that I'm taking rest, this is the time period it took. Look at what my son will do. It will move up and what? Continue. Look at this rest. Look at his own rest here. Can you see that it's bigger than his own particular rest? Look at my own rest here. Look at my son rest here. Look at when we share the rest together. Look at it. Look at my own. Look at what my son is facing here. Deep rest. It's called a peak reset on lower time frame. My rest on higher time frame is called a peak reset on lower time frame. My son cannot rest that kind of rest. It is called deep rest. The time frame I'm going to use to rest is way bigger than that of my son. It is called deep rest. The period is bigger, so we call it deep rest for my son, not just ordinary rest. Shonye,
Yes.
are you getting it? That's the meaning.
Like what I understand from what you're saying now is that peak reset, like peak consideration levels in 15 minutes time frame doesn't last long.
Yes, you are getting it. In any particular time frame you are relating it to, not just 15 minutes. I don't know if you are getting what I'm getting.
I understand, sir.
I need to make sure you are getting this thing, though, because I'm not going to
Boss.
come back here.
A pullback
Please, I want to ask a
on
question.
higher time frame
Okay.
would just be a reset on lower time frame.
Ask your question now. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, please, does it mean that for one movement, that is one ADR movement on a higher time frame, it's a complete level for a lower time frame?
Yes,
Complete
bro.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Let me show you something. Let's complete this thing. So my son continues his journey, and I also continue my journey here. He does one, he does two, then again 3. This particular point, we are both resting. So look at it. Look at the period of our rest. My son took deep rest before we continue again. 1, we did 2, and we did 3. We are now at UI together. Now let me draw it on this particular chart. Look at how it's going to be. Same thing I drew there. 1, 2, 3. We are taking both rest. My son is taking deep rest. 1. Look at my son rest though on my own graph. 2, 3. We are taking rest. My son is taking deep rest. 1, 2, 3. UI. If it's not clear, let me know.
It's clear. It's clear.
Clear.
It's clear.
Very clear.
Yeah.
Very, very clear.
Clear.
Yeah. You be king of example.
All right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, I like that.
I have a question.
Okay, ask your question.
I want to ask now, during this rest,
Wow.
which time frame are we particularly focusing on? I mean,
all time frames. All time frames.
Sorry,
Just pick 2 time frames together. This is what you be getting.
I meant to ask the EMAs. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you what the EMAs is going to be. For now, focus on this. This particular time, we are still going to do EMA blending. But at this particular stage, for my son must always be on 200 EMA. He must always be on 200. And if my son is on 200 EMA, I'm on 50 EMA. I'm still going to talk about EMA blending if we today or tomorrow, I don't know, depending on, because I want to show you this thing on real life. Please, do we understand?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I need to make sure we understand. Don't worry, EMAs is still coming. When we jam everything together, you will understand everything perfectly well. Can I continue now?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Continue.
Sorry, I mistakenly pressed the power button for of my system. That's why I shouted like that. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. Now I just opened some trade. We are presently on. Okay, let's check. Okay. All right. Let me switch to my phone. I'm coming. Let me show you something on my phone. I feel it's going to be much easier to show you on my phone than on system. So just hold on. We'll connect soon. Hold on. Are we together?
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress. Are we together? Hello?